Right, I want to take you to a developing story tonight. The Correctional Services National Commissioner, Makgothi Thobakgale, currently leading a search at a Durban Correctional Centre. SABC News reporter Jade Paulse is at that facility. Jade, not ready to speak to us yet, but let's show you some pictures of this raid. It is the second that we've broadcast here on Full View in just the last few days. There was a similar raid in Pretoria on Monday, it might have been. So what you're looking at now are pictures of an ongoing raid by the Correctional Services Department at a centre, a facility in Durban. I'm not sure about the name of this particular prison, but what we do know is that what is often uncovered during these raids by correctional services, there is contraband. In Gauteng, for instance, as I was saying in the earlier raid, marijuana was found, crystal meth, cell phones are also found during these raids. One of the people, in fact, found with a cell phone in his prison cell over the weekend was Avusumuzi Matlala, who's now been linked to these allegations around the Police Minister Senzo Mchunu in the fallout with the national, well, not national, but the Provincial Commissioner of Police in KZN, in fact, in recent days. Jade, seemingly now able, or at least ready to talk to us. Jade, if you can hear me, speak to us about what's happened in your time at this correctional centre and where exactly it is.
Well, a very good evening to you, Thobakgale, and to the viewers back at home. And yes, we are at Westville Correctional Facility where a spot raid is being conducted. We actually just got here 10 minutes ago, and personnel are on the ground. So far, Thobakgale, we've seen several contraband, including cell phones as well as narcotics being confiscated. I'm just going to step out of shot and ask Ray just to walk with me as we navigate what's currently happening here. And we know that, you know, the Westville Prison over the years, Thobakgale, has frequently been subjected to raids and security operations by the Department of Correctional Services and other law enforcement agencies, really to combat the pervasive issues of contraband. And these raids are aimed to maintain order, basically ensure security and safety, as well as illegal activities within the facility. And just looking at the population here at Westville, we do know that it can accommodate roughly about 6,000 prisoners, but had an inmate population of approximately 14,000. In some sections, including the one where we're at now, medium B, has reported to be somewhat overcrowded, and that's why these raids are conducted regularly and often unannounced as part of national security operations aiming to curb the smuggling of prohibited items, as you can see on your screens right now at the correctional facility. Now, we do know that the National Commissioner of Correctional Services, Makgothi Thobakgale, is here, and he has personally led some of these raids, including the one in the Western Cape and in Gauteng, now in KwaZulu-Natal, emphasizing on that zero tolerance policy towards contraband and cell phones, including money and various other items. And this is basically just to enable and to enable the fact that contraband smuggling is the involvement of some of those correctional officials working within the external networks. And the department has over the years been saying that they're trying to clamp down on that. And where we are right now, you can see on your screens, is some of the officials basically going through the inmates' items to investigate and look for some of these that I have mentioned. Over the years, especially at this particular facility, Thobakgale, Westville Correctional Facility, there has been a number of inmates in possession of various items, and they've even lost privileges during these raids once some of the contraband has been confiscated. So tonight we are expecting this to carry on for several hours, and like I said, to try and clamp down on the illegal smuggling that is continually and consistently taking place at some of the facilities, not only in KZN but throughout the country. And we've seen many of these raids taking place. So I'm just going to navigate out of here. We'll try and see if we can't speak to the officials on the ground. As you can see, they are still very busy trying to get some of the inmates out of the cells and continuing with the work on the ground. But once they have finished or gone halfway through some of these spot checks and raids will definitely try and squeeze a word with the correctional
Very
Facilities
briefly,
Commissioner and see
Jade,
how much contraband was confiscated at this particular facility.
and Jade, very
well as some
briefly, if you
of
can hear me,
The
give us a
other
sense
illegal
of how
items
large a
that we
raid
have
this
seen
is.
over the course of the years being taken away from some of these inmates, and are obviously posing the question of how some of these items come through these doors. We do know that often there are corrupt correctional facility, I beg your pardon, wardens, but we'll see and gauge from the officials on the ground as to how some of these items come into the hands of some of these inmates.